back on June 30th this year, I checked out Minions: The Rise of Gru, which was opening night, so let's talk about it. The plot of Minions: The Rise of Gru goes like this. In the 1970s, young Gru tries to join a group of supervillains called the Vicious Six after they lost their leader, the legendary fighter Wild Knuckles. When the interview turns disastrous, Gru and his minions go on the run with the Vicious Six on their tails. Luckily, he finds an unlikely source for guidance, Wild Knuckles himself, and soon discovers that even bad guys need a little help from their friends. So what did I think of Minions: The Rise of Gru? Well, I went in with the lowest of expectations because of me not liking the first Minions movie, with it being the worst Illumination movie yet for me. I essentially was expecting it to be bad, and coming out of it, I was completely right. Now, that's not to say it's terrible, as there were a few things that I did like about the film. For starters, there were a few jokes that were surprisingly pretty funny, which I honestly was not expecting. There were also a few charming moments here and there, and I do also like the many references it has to the first film, because, of course, this is a prequel to the Despicable Me films. And I also like the Jaws reference in it. And the animation is good, too. But that's pretty much it for the things that I liked about this movie, as now I will get down to why I found it to be bad. For starters, I found the subplot of Wild Knuckles suddenly helping Gru to become a good villain to be very dull and predictable. There are also so many parts that are just filled to the brim with nothing but minion filler, which is honestly to be expected at this point, but it's still a major problem that has been in this franchise since Despicable Me 2 in my jurisdiction. Also, the subplot with the minions trying to learn Kung Fu, I also found to be very dull. I'm noticing that this film has the same major problem that Despicable Me 3 had, and it's that there are too many subplots, and all of them are just so forgettable and kind of hard to keep track of. The villains I also found to be very boring and forgettable. I mean, hell, all the new characters I found to be very boring and forgettable. The humor in the film also wasn't good, except for the few funny jokes I mentioned before. Overall, Minions: The Rise of Gru was just what I expected it to be going into it. A very dull sequel with, for the most part, unfunny humor, very forgettable characters, so many scenes with minion-filled filler, and too many subplots that are very forgettable and dull, and are honestly hard to keep track of. I'll take this film over the first Minions movie, I'll take it over Despicable Me 3, I'll take it over Hop, but that really isn't saying much. I didn't absolutely hate this film, but I really wasn't expecting much from an Illumination film nowadays, especially one focused on the Minions. Overall, I'm giving this film a 2 out of 5.